Hi, Janice.
Well, I gotta say, I didn't expect you two down here this early.
Why isn't the recording working? That was weird. Are you okay, computer? Really? You swallow? Don't worry about that. If you're ever wondering why you randomly see footage of like fan art and commissions, it's because my Discord is set to have a slideshow whenever it doesn't have a valid input. So it just happens when I click out and out of the window sometimes. Okay, now it's working. It stayed on the previous page and I didn't know what to do. All right, sorry. Reread it. I was paying attention. It broke.
Well, I gotta say, I didn't expect you two down here this early.
We follow the old coyote around the side of the house, weaving through sagebrush and tumbleweeds.
Why is she wearing her apron? She's not at work right now.
Well, it's a lot. Artists are expensive.
Understandable.
She takes her work home with her.
It's a bit hot right now, but if you're feeling up to it...
Yeah, we just didn't have much else to do today. Janice, as far as I can tell, has been acting completely normal. I at least expected her to be embarrassed, knowing what she'd done in front of us. Assuming she remembered it all. I'm fine with not ever bringing it up again, though, and I'm sure TJ feels the same way. Once we reach the back of Janice's house, I'm amazed to see a pile of tumbleweeds maybe 10 feet high against the house. The pile sticks out another 5 feet from the wall. Whoa. Janice puts her hands around her hips, looking at the mess.
Whoa is right. Been a few years since I got around to doing this. Can't see out the back window anymore.
Janice chuckles. TJ claps his hands and smiles. This won't be hard at all. I feel like he's saying that for my sake. It's so hot, I just want to lay down and die right here in the dirt.
Should be pretty quick. That's why I got another job.
I completely forgot what they were doing. I thought they were going to help with the diner.
Well, it said spring cleaning, which well, I knew that it was going to be at her house. But spring cleaning to me does not mean yard work. It means like clutter and like the Marie Kondo bullshit organizing stuff.
Hairballs.
Hairballs.
I just meant just tumbleweeds of hair inside the house, just having to deal with that
you
shit.
You mean dust bunnies, right?
Pet version of that.
Yeah, was there a name for that?
You just have too many dogs and you just have like balls of hair that gather in corners and you have to you can pick them up by hand.
Hair in the dark.
The corner of my eye twitches. Janice turns to point out towards her backyard. Or at least what would be her backyard if there was a fence or something to separate it from the wilderness beyond.
See that pile of wood over there?
She indicates what is indeed a pile of old, crumbling wood.
Used to be a shed there. Been there for God knows how long. You boys mind salvaging the good bits for firewood? It sounds like it's already firewood now.
Yeah, just light it on fire and then it'll clean itself up. What'd go wrong?
So where we live now, there was like a pile of wood on the side, but it definitely wasn't firewood. It just was like random wood, and we ended up burning it, but we ended up realizing there's paint on some of it, so we couldn't burn all of it because like the paint
would toxic.
Give us noxious fumes.
It's just mysterious wood.
Yeah, we don't know why there's like
wood.
Nails in it and like paint on it, and we end up burning all of it or throwing it away. But
I was gonna say it's not still there, right? It's not just mysterious wood for 5 years.
We were using it, for a long ass time, but don't know why it was there.
Janice turns back to the small shack-like abode that is her house. That's a mean way to describe what I'm saying, but
it's a pretty nice house.
The pictures don't always match the descriptions.
You can pile it up against the side of the house.
There's actually good fan art recently by Star, I think, who they looked at the descriptions of Chase's outfits from throughout the game, of like other clothes that he encounters or wears in various routes at times, but isn't shown visually, and then actually depicted it. Like one of them is it's like a Midwest Adventures or whatever the fuck the place is called shirt from like that theme park that's like used to be red but has faded to pink. and he's got like he's got tortoise shell sunglasses.
That is, I mean, I like tortoise shell, but in Chase's case, I feel like it might be a little bit like a little douchey. I feel like he would be douchey about it. But in general, tortoise shell is very dope.
There's always little quirks of there's just more details that can be here. Like, presumably these people are wearing different clothes each day. It's just, that's quite the commitment to do that for all of your sprites and draw that all out.
They're not pulling a Mark Zuckerberg and wearing the same gray t-shirt every day for years.
Some of the interesting tactics I've seen is that I've been downloading visual novels and opening their image assets and looking through them lately, like when I do a Let's Try one or something. And I'll notice that like one of the new approaches that people are taking is that they, instead of drawing one sprite, like, and then just drawing a whole, like, then taking that picture and modifying it and be like, and that's that character, but with their arms crossed, and that's that character, but with this expression. Like, if I open the Amicus folder of the Amicus like subfolder in Ad Astra's files, you'll just see Amicus doing every single pose with every single face, with every single state of dress or undress, just iterating through them for like 100 images. But there's some newer visual novels are starting to do this like layering trick where they actually draw the faces completely separately. So they have like a handful of body, they just have the handful of bodies, and then they have all of the faces, and then they just pick the combination in the coding instead of having the image be an entire render of every single individual combination.
So have the parts be separate and then kind of like sew them together for specific scenes.
Like,
so basically,
like instead their face would just be blank, and you would just load a face over it.
So like it significantly decreases the number of like full body sprites you have to make.
Yeah, you're kind of like loading them like Lego pieces together.
Okay. Now, to me, I honestly thought that was kind of how they did this already. I mean, not this. Like, I look at this and I'm like, oh, these are definitely like solid.
It might be how their Photoshop folder looks, like their file, the project that they're doing to make them all might look like that, where they could like toggle individual settings. But in the game, for Echo and Ad Astra, every single sprite you see that's a combination of like being clothed or shirtless and these expressions, or now their arms crossed, like those are just dozens of separate pictures. They're just all in there.
I do really like respect and appreciate the amount of work that goes into like anything like this.
It's so much.
Just like Janice wearing her apron is not at all an actual issue for me. It's like she has a lot of detail in her sprite already, so I'm like,
that wall has so many windows.
That does have kind of a weird amount of windows.
A lot of separate windows.
But you know, sometimes they're taking advantage of like where the sun rises and sets and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Architecture is based on that.
Get that natural lighting.
Grow those house plants.
I give TJ the dirtiest look I can. Hey, baby.
Like, hey, I'm imagining you naked.
Well, like the sprites. While he helplessly tries to keep a smile on for Janice. She shields her eyes against the sun.
Wow, it's a real scorcher today. I'll have lemonade made in a few.
She is taking advantage.
Dude, like, I just imagine her being like, with a fan, be like, don't try to hit on me. I got lemonade and cookies for you boys. Like, she's like watching them work, and she's like a pool boy scenario where it's like, oh, thank you for helping me out.
Such strong, muscular boys doing all my yard work in the hot heat.
I'm just an older,
is that musk I smell?
Lady. Yeah, exactly. But dude, so moving tumbleweeds would not be a problem. They're very lightweight. Just kind of grab the whole thing.
Yeah, just yank them out. They're
Firewood's
just kind
of a bitch.
They're probably just kind of stuck on each other.
But granted, I'm just trying to imagine being this person, and like, I would have such a hard time asking anybody for help. I'd be like, no, it's fine. Just go hire someone. I pay them like $50.
I've never tried moving tumbleweeds, but
I think they're.
I can't help but feel like the two things described are in total like 10 minutes of work. This feels like so little stuff to do.
See, we live in a place where we see tumbleweeds all the time. Imagine like the viewers who are watching right now who are like on the East Coast who like don't see tumbleweeds. If you live in like a very civilized
I would just
area,
want gloves.
Yeah, just work.
They're gonna be full of spiders
or thorns.
Like yeah. But I've never seen tumbleweeds gather. Like, I've never seen a bunch of them stuck together before.
I've seen a few against a fence, like kind of clustered.
I just see them on like the freeway, just being like, that seems like a hazard that those just arrive sometimes.
Just like I said, people have never seen tumbleweeds before. We see them like on a, like, I probably see like 30 a year.
Yeah, they're strange conceptually. It's just a big ass bush that just dries up and rolls away.
Well, it dries up and then the wind blows the roots out of the ground, and then it just
leaves.
Blows away. Yeah.
And with that, Janice heads back around the house, her heavy footsteps crunching through the brush. We're quiet for a few minutes, both staring at the pile of tumbleweeds. She seems okay. I crouch in the dirt, putting my head in my hands. I think she just had an embarrassing moment and acted awkward about it. I do it all the time.
To that extent, though.
I mean, even earlier in this route, TJ walked in on Chase trying to demusk himself in the bathroom, and then they just had to live with that.
Yeah, but you guys are friends. I don't know.
I don't say anything. Chase, are you okay? I shake my head silently. It's not that bad. We can do this. I sigh, deciding whether or not I'm actually going to leave TJ, then come back when it's not so hot. That's when I hear running water. I look up and see a grinning TJ standing at the corner of the house, holding up a green hose. Water trickles out of the metal-capped end. Thought I forgot about you and water? Remember, every 15 minutes at least.
He's very cute. He's grown on me quite a lot.
Despite my bad mood, I can't help but smile a little at his continued enthusiasm. I stand up and walk over to the hose, taking it from TJ and letting the icy water run over my head while he looks on approvingly. I have to keep myself from moaning at how good it feels.
I don't know, just try doing it and see how TJ reacts to that.
Just water. What a reaction.
See, his reaction to a cold shower is not what you'd expect.
No. Once I'm done, I look back at the pile of tumbleweeds. So what are we supposed to do with all of these? She didn't tell us where to put them.
I think you just light them on fire.
We'll just throw them off to the side. The wind will take care of them. I don't know if lighting them on fire is safe.
I mean, you're in a desert.
Something defined by how it rolls away.
Yeah, but I mean, a fire in a desert is just gonna light and then go out. There's nothing to attach itself to. Just you make sure it's not near the house, and then.
I feel like it might not be a totally. Judging by most of the images we've seen, this seems like it has a decent amount of like grass and brush and trees everywhere.
Yeah, but they're far apart, so.
Maybe.
Yeah, you're not gonna cause like a.
I feel like you're gonna cause like a Far Cry 2 brush fire that takes out the whole fucking area.
I don't know, man.
You're about to get some emergent gameplay. So we set to work. Snapping song. Janice had at least left gloves for us so we didn't have to worry about anything sharp going through her hands.
That is nice.
I still get poked through my shirt, or even in the face if I pull one out awkwardly. TJ can't help but notice. TJ, I can't help but notice, is a lot faster than I am. He's working at a quick and steady pace, not caring at all when a tumbleweed hits him in the face. I get a few more messages from Leo asking where we are. When I tell him, he doesn't reply. Soon enough, I'm sweating buckets, dark circles forming under my arms and around my neck. 10 minutes in and I have to take off my shirt, letting it hang on a rusty metal outcrop under the window. I notice TJ giving me sidelong glances after I do. I grin at him. What? Enjoying the show?
Oh.
TJ jumps. What? No! TJ quickly looks away again, working faster than ever on the tumbleweeds, which are already half gone at this point. I notice he's got the same sweat stain pattern as I did. Hey, you can take yours off too. It feels really good. TJ stops and pants for a while, staring at the rest of the tumbleweeds. I mean, might as well do it now. We still have a ton of wood to move after this.
Yeah, we do.
Phrasing. He flicks his ears and I can see him blushing. Are you embarrassed? Don't you shower naked with other dudes at school?
Dude.
Well, yeah, but he doesn't care about them. Because he's got this whole... he's got this whole bonding thing.
That is important. I'm just thinking, like, in my high school... I never had a... Like, no school ever made me get naked in front of other people.
I think it happens in college, though. Because, like, gyms and stuff. It's like the equivalent of public gyms, I mean.
No, public gyms have separate stalls.
Do they?
Yeah, they do.
I
have
the communal
a membership.
shower room doesn't exist.
No, I know, like...
Sound off in the comments. How common is this? Only if you're American. Shut up if you're not American.
Yeah, I mean, that is going to skew the results.
That'll break the data.
Like Porky's, like the movie Porky's, which no one here is going to know what I'm talking about. But it's like, they don't have that kind of like shower room where it's like a bunch of girls being like, ha 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 ha. It's like, no.
Because I know outside of the United States, things get extremely naked all the time.
Yeah, and honestly,
you get Japanese bathhouses and shit.
Where you just bathe with your whole family.
You sit on a little stool and you scrub yourself.
That's fine. I don't have any issue with... Honestly, I wouldn't have any issue with that. It's just the no high school, I think, does that because you're not there by choice, and I think that's the difference, as opposed to a bathhouse that you go to, and it's like you go there and you pay money to be there, and it's your choice to be there. It's not like you're forced to be there.
Yeah.
Being in school and being forced to be naked in front of a bunch of people is really weird, whether it be college or high school or middle school.
Did your college have group nakedness? Let us know.
Yeah, sound off in the comments.
Are all of the fantasies that people draw in comics real?
I mean, part of me is like, I hope so, but also part of me is like, that would be sad for some people, so I don't want that to be true.
That would be sad for some people.
That's not cool for everybody, you know? Like, people don't want to do that. I mean, if you want to do it, definitely do it. Like, that's up to you. Like, that's cool with me, but I mean, I don't think you should be forced to do it.
Male spaces are weird and inconsistent.
Girl spaces are fucking weird.
I just think about how, like, there's the whole, like... I explained this to you, because I guess you didn't know about this. There's like a... Wait, no. Never mind. I explained this to somebody else, but they were baffled by it, and I was like, really? You never heard about, like, the every other urinal rule?
Oh, I definitely know about that.
Like in the men's restroom, people, like, you always use every other urinal until it's like full up or something. Like, you don't like intentionally go right next to somebody. But then you have like those weird bars that have like a trough.
Yeah.
You just pee in a trough and there's no barriers or line of sight breaking whatsoever. And then at that point, like, who gives a shit? You're literally staring at other people's piss while you're like there, like. What is that space?
Dude, I've seen girls hold hands under the bathroom stalls before.
So cursed.
I've definitely talked to people through the bath. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Like, how'd you like the movie? Blah, 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 blah. And so, you're just talking.
Hold hands under the stall.
Yeah, no, I've genuinely seen that. I've also seen girls on the phone. They're on the phone with, like, family while they're in a bathroom that is full. It's not even, like, it's not even like halfway full. It's a very full, loud bathroom. People chattering, people flushing toilets, and the person's like, yeah, no, but like my test results were good, and like talking on the phone with like a family member while obviously in the bathroom. They're like, there's no way you could hide you're in the bathroom, but it's just like, it's so normal to them. I could hear them chatting on the phone. Although honestly, the best thing ever is hearing a kid be like, oh, look, I have to flush now, and the mom's like, shh, quiet, like, they're being so loud, and the kids like just talking about their life, like they're just detailing the entire process while having zero volume control because of their children, and they just yell every word. I like goldfish, like, they're fun. It's like, okay. It's nice, sweetie. Good for you. The volume disparity really sells it. Where it's like, I like goldfish. Okay, sweet, that's nice. We're in a public toilet, like. And they comment on their mom's bodies while they're peeing. They're like, oh, like, you know, like, shh, quiet, shh, stop talking about what I'm doing. I would never be able to find this, but you reminded me of this really funny art that I've seen where it's like two furries standing at urinals next to each other, and they both have their pants down like Butters while they're peeing. Oh, I love Butters. So you just see ass cheeks, and they're holding hands around the divider, like behind it, while they're at the urinals. I'm just like, what the fuck? Okay, the funniest image. It's kind of cute. If I walked in on, I mean, I wouldn't walk in on that because I wouldn't be allowed in that bathroom. But if I did, I'd be like, good for you guys. It's very romantic. But what?
TJ huffs and finally pulls his shirt off, forcing a smile as he goes over to hang it up next to mine. I notice that he does it with crossed arms, the way girls do. He's a never nude.
Is that a girl thing?
I don't know.
Like when you take off your shirt, but you do it like this, you're like
covering your bra or something? No,
you do it like this.
Oh, you mean he's taking the shirt off with crossed arms?
Yeah. It's not I've seen guys do that.
Maybe. I don't think this is a thing that you do automatically, so I don't think about it very much. I'm pretty sure I grab my shoulders to pull my shirt off.
I'm just not elegant enough to do it that way. I just like it's like a snake. I shed my skin. I wiggle out of it, you know?
I'm confused by the idea of doing the crossed arm, grab the bottom of your shirt and pull it over your head thing, because that makes the shirt go inside out.
I mean, my shirts are always inside out when I take them off.
No, yeah, I think I grab my own shoulders and pull.
See, that's pretty smart.
And then the shirt just comes off clean.
All my clothes come out inside out.
Weird. Yeah, that seems like a pain in the ass.
Yeah, but I do that to myself.
Because it's like, look, you've instantly turned it inside out via this one cool trick. It's way hard to turn uninside out now that it's not on you. Now it's just a problem.
You just flick it.
It's just annoying. No. You have to deal with the arms. You have to make them not inside out one by one.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you do it? Fill out the comments.
Wow.
Just have a call to action every 5 minutes.
Comments section's full right now.
Yeah. Just why is everyone talking about
shirts
and urinals and public showering? Why was last episode full of everyone talking about Snowflake? What's happening? It always happens weeks later when I have no idea what's happening, and I'm like that episode that we prompted people to talk about fish or something, and then I'm like, I don't know why everyone's saying this. I don't know what's happening.
You know, occasionally I look back and I read through the comments just because it makes me happy, and I'm like, I remember. I have little flashbacks. I'm like, oh yeah, because usually it's my fault. I bring up something really weird, and I usually remember it.
You keep saying there's people that are just really excited about anime references or something, and I'm like, these are all her. I have no idea what these are. Sorry,
you all. Sorry, you weebs.
I noticed that he does it with crossed arms, the way girls do. Yeah, I didn't even phase this. I thought I meant he would. They talked about him.
You can't take off a shirt with arms crossed. How you're thinking? You do it like this.
Well, no, it was that I thought he was going to hang it up while also being sheepish about his nudity, so he had his arms crossed afterwards. Nah. I thought his arms were crossed after the shirt was off. He was just being weird. There. Happy?
Absolutely.
What's with you being all weird about having your shirt off? You were the same way this morning. TJ sighs. I was trying not to make it weird, but you two were just staring at me when I opened the door. I laugh and put his hands on his hips. I laugh and TJ puts his hands on his hips. I was like,
a little forward there, aren't you?
Just her shirt's off for 3 seconds and you just glomp. Just remember that when we're done, we're gonna have to check our torsos for ticks too.
Oh man.
Oh yeah. That dampens my spirits.
We get to look at each other closer.
Man, this sucks. We're gonna have to groom each other like chimps.
That was one of me and your brother, one of our first outings, we had to check each other for ticks on the side of the road. People honked at us because we had to get naked because we had a tick in the car. And we had 2 ticks in the car, and we freaked out. We got pulled over, and we'd only known each other for a few months. So we both pulled over on the side of the road, and we took all of our clothes off and shook them out. In fact, I have a pair of socks and some pants that are out there and somewhere because I had to leave on the side of the road. I was too afraid of them having ticks in them. And we're turning around, how's my back? How's my legs? How's it look? We're looking at each other for ticks. We're honk honk, jeez. Honk honk. Think we're being all cute. It's no, he's gay. Don't worry.
You don't understand.
But yeah, no, we bonded over that. It's awful to have to check
and
people for ticks.
And thankfully, you didn't bond with any ticks.
I had one in my sock.
Ugh.
But nothing grabbed onto me.
TJ pants quietly for a few seconds. It is a little hot. So, you do admit this was a bad idea? No, I mean, maybe? But at least we'll have the evening to do something once we finish, right? He smiles at me, hopefully. That does brighten my mood a little. Want to go to the diner? More Janice. She's a fixture this entire time. TJ smiles before bending over towards the tumbleweeds again. Yeah, sure. I was just wanting to try the... Ah! I jump a foot in the air, almost falling into the tumbleweeds. Go, go, go! TJ's off like a bullet, running away from the pile in my direction. Confused, I jump out of the way, then follow him around the side of the house as I look at where he'd been standing. I don't see anything, but his reaction is enough to get the fur standing on the back of my neck. TJ comes to a stop towards the front of the house. What the hell? What happened?
Rattlesnake?
I finally caught up to him, panting under the heat. TJ is gasping too, but probably more out of fear. Tarantula!
Oh,
So harmless, basically.
I loved him.
A reflexive shiver runs up my body, and I wring my hands out. No! I'm suddenly very conscious of everything around me. All the little twigs and branches of the sagebrush looking like spiders. Are you sure? Yes! TJ's voice is high-pitched and squeaky as he shakes his hands. He's laughing to himself nervously. I was reaching down for another one, and when I touched it, it moved, and it was a giant freaking spider. How do you mix up a tarantula with a tumbleweed? Are those tiny tumbleweeds? How big are these tumbleweeds?
I mean,
the tumbleweeds I've seen are like 2 or 3 feet tall.
Yeah, but the tarantulas blend into the earth. You know, like the ones around here,
tumbleweed?
They're tan, so it's like they're gonna. I mean, they're hiding underneath it because it's like a nice.
Yeah, well, I'm just confused by how he reached for a tumbleweed, and it was actually a tarantula. I'm like, those don't seem very comparable.
Maybe I don't know how you grab a tumbleweed. Maybe you grab all the way down, and you're like, oh no. I just hope you didn't break that spider because they're really delicate.
Just break the spider, like a wind-up toy. Here come the spider police. There's always a gamble whether or not if acknowledging the sirens is actually a sound that the audience is hearing, or if it's just us.
My dog always reacts. She's out on a run.
We live in an iffy city, so we hear sirens all day.
We live in an iffy city,
time.
and my dog's an abused, post-abused, not currently. I love her very much. A pit bull. I think she recognizes the police sirens.
TJ must be really freaked out because I rarely hear him use even that word. What do you say?
What, freaking?
Freaking.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
TJ, you're very sweet, but like, it's okay.
The sky's not gonna fall. We both stand there for a minute and TJ looks towards the back of the house again, biting his lip. There's something a bit off about the way he's acting, though. Maybe a little over-exaggerated?
Oh.
I narrow my eyes. Is this another prank? Ah! No! I look back at me. TJ looks back at me and shakes his head. His eyes wide. It was right there. It's probably still there now. Dude, you better not be joking around with me on this. It's gonna make the rest of today so much worse. He shivers again, but I'm still suspicious. TJ could be a good actor when he wanted. It was definitely a tarantula. The front door suddenly opens and Janice pokes her head out.
Oh my stars. Who are these 2 handsome young men in my yard?
Pool boy.
Ooh.
Pool boy. The old coyote comes out, looking us up and down, especially TJ. The lynx notices and grips an arm with one of his hands, as if trying to cover up under the gaze. That's what I thought before, and it did happen.
It happened here.
Yeah.
See, like, as much as I like Janice, this is not appropriate.
No.
Do not sexualize young people, especially without their consent. Well, I mean, young people at all, but also just like any person without their consent. Don't get people to work on your yard and then trap them there and give them lemonade and ogle them in a weird, awkward way. And what's with all that hollering?
I frown at the old coyote's forwardness. I look at TJ, but he doesn't say anything. TJ says he saw a tarantula. Janice claps a paw at the side of her face.
Well, I'll be darned. A blonde? I fucking knew it. An Arizona blonde or a Tucson blonde?
Maybe? I've never seen one before.
I had one once. Well, they're all around here. You just never see them because they only come out at night. They don't like bright lights.
Janice shields her eyes again.
This time of day is way too hot for him. Was probably a huntsman. Oh, dude, that is not the same as a tarantula.
But maybe he doesn't know what a tarantula is.
But so tarantulas are all fuzzy, like, right? Like a huntsman's like, it's a spider. You need like a spider versus a tarantula. Like they're very different in terms of like body composition.
But TJ says he's never seen one before, so who knows what he's even reacting to.
Yeah, but I mean, even, I don't know. I feel like you should know the difference between a tarantula and a spider.
Well, he's in sports medicine.
That is true.
That is specialty.
I bet you grew up here.
They only come out at night.
But, I don't know. But still.
And he's traumatized about ever going out at night ever since that Lights episode happened.
That was...
stressing.
I really liked the art from that. I'll reiterate that again. That was really nice art.
All this talk about spiders is making me want to just walk the fuck back to the motel right now. It wasn't. TJ mumbles next to me, but I don't think Janice hears him.
Just want to let you two know that I made some lemonade and I have some cookies in the oven too.
TJ forces a smile onto his face. Thank you, Janice. She grins at him.
You are just the most adorable thing.
She moves forward to pinch his cheek ruffs, and somehow he manages to stay smiling while she does it.
Classic auntie, like...
I am receiving affection.
I am being polite.
Finally, Janice bustles back inside as I give TJ a long look. He throws his hands up in the air. I'm not lying.
TJ, I believe you.
I can see him turning red under his fur, so I leave it for now.
There's a big difference. You never confuse the two. I never would. But no person would.
People just don't know things.
But one of them was really fast,
all the time.
one of them was really slow. Like...
I watched a VR chat, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, where people didn't know that Reagan was a president.
Fair enough. Fair enough, okay.
Never underestimate how much people just don't know things sometimes.
Yeah, I get that.
We look around for a while, but can't find any trace of the spider. It was that snake VTuber, by the way. I'm calling him out. Getting back to work is difficult, and I keep jumping at the sight of anything long and spindly.
I always bring up the time where someone asked me, they said, does a dog need water? And I said, yes. And they said, like all the time? And I said, yes.
All the time.
And I didn't know what they meant by that. And I figured the right answer was probably just to say yes.
Thankfully the dog will mostly self-mediate on how much water if you provide water.
Like, they need access to water all the time.
Yeah.
Like all the time? I'm like, yes.
What a concern.
Does a dog need water? Oh my goodness.
I guess the question was already concerning, but somehow the follow-up is just more concerning. You're like, what, all the time? That's just good to go?
Like a person does.
Yeah. It's not like wiper fluid, you just fill it up every 9 months. Which when you're cleaning out tumbleweeds is everything. On top of that, I see several smaller spiders, and every time I do, I jump and run a few steps away before I try to shoo them off. This is the bravest he's ever been about spiders.
You're right.
He's going forward with the project.
Sometimes it depends on who you're with.
TJ recovers a lot faster, though, and pretty soon he's tossing out tumbleweeds at the same pace he was earlier. This makes me even more suspicious. Anyway, it's not a bad sight. TJ is way more in shape than I am, the tight muscles in his back easily standing out and gliding under the fur.
Ooh-wee.
I catch myself staring several times, and I'm pretty sure he does too. Once we're almost finished, I have to straighten up, pushing my hands into my lower back to make it crack. Sore? A little bit. TJ tosses out one of the last tumbleweeds before walking up to my side. Does it always hurt? He puts a hand on my lower back and starts sliding it around. Not really. Just when I'm bending over and stuff. He's quiet for a moment, teasing through the fur on my back. I start to blush, but that's when he applies some pressure to a muscle. I grimace and arch. Wow, that's stiff. I hiss and try to writhe away, but he puts a hand on my shoulder and holds me in place. He giggles. Hold still for a second. Well, when you're digging in like that, that's because you're all tensed up. Just relax. I try to do as he says, even though it's extremely uncomfortable. So, otters are known for having bad backs. I know. My dad can barely move these days.
That's pretty unfortunate.
That's terrible.
I mean, I imagine different species would have very specific health problems.
Yeah. I shrug. He still gets around, just needs pain meds. Which you don't want to have to rely on. My shoulder bumps TJ's chest and his long whiskers brush my ear. It's the short legs and the long back.
That makes sense.
Rude. You have to bend over more than most of us, keep a good posture, and lift heavy things with your knees.
Your legs that hardly work at all.
I mean, he's gonna fall over again this route, I'm sure. Like, we can't rely on him not to.
Like I said, you really should just use that tail as a stabilizer, you know?
Yeah. His fingers dance a bit lower before pulling back. You'll thank yourself 20 years from now when you're not in constant pain. I put both my hands on my back, feeling warm and a lot more loose. Hey, I actually do feel a little bit better. Great! I'm impressed with how much TJ knows about otters. He probably knows the same amount about all the other species too.
Didn't he keep bringing up otters? He kept bringing up otters before. He was like, oh, I've like otters, and like I've noticed that otters have this problem, and he kept bringing up otters very specifically.
Well, I think it's because he's talking. I think he could be specifically thinking about otters because he thinks about Chase outside of these contexts,
or maybe just that he knows about all like a lot of species.
Yeah,
just kind of
like, or it could be that he just happens to know all these things. And it's just the fact that he's talking to Chase, and so he's like, aha, otter facts, and then it feels a little like the last time in particular, it felt a little bit just like awkward and uncomfortable because you're like just having too much anatomy information about him.
It could be some weird stereotype, like which is kind of like it could be off-putting, but I'm assuming that like the situation's a little bit different.
He's got sports
different.
Medicine information.
Yeah,
all these
exactly.
Different groups.
So like long-legged people and like thin-shouldered people and like
the giraffes
people with long torsos and this and that.
Yep.
No, I just imagine
people have varying health problems. Like otters have back problems. Giraffes are frequently decapitated by roller coasters.
Dude, I don't think giraffes even exist in this world. I feel like they'd be wiped out in a bipedal existence.
What does that mean?
How would they function in this world?
They would just have long necks. What do you mean? But
like immensely long necks. Like they couldn't like go into stores or into any business.
I would just imagine. I mean, it's Anthro rules. It's all made up anyway. But I would imagine that they're probably just like kind of big necks, not like to scale.
You think that they've like evolved down like in the same way that they originally
everyone else
evolved
is squished to being roughly just a human-shaped person.
Okay, I like kind of like a horse, like how a horse would just be a person that walks into a bar and has like a long neck, but like
this
not.
Sounds like the setup to a joke.
It definitely does, but okay.
It's like Brian specifically that is like an outlier where he just seems so bestial and like out of line, but almost everyone else is just like a dude.
I mean, honestly, even Brian looks like people I've seen before. Like
yeah,
Brian looks
like
a person.
He feels like he's 12 feet tall and weighs 3,000 pounds or some shit.
He's just a very big. He looks like a wrestler, like a WWE performer or something. He looks too big to be a normal person in your life, but he looks big enough to be possible.
Even in the realm of Anthro, I don't expect them to a furry to be able to take a bullet to the skull and just keep going.
Oh no, I mean I wouldn't expect that.
That's some bear shit. You know, you're really smart. TJ ducks his head modestly. Oh, I'm just repeating what I've learned. I mean, I forget everything I learned within a week. I do too, sometimes. Just have to keep studying until it sticks. Or have some kind of, like, innate incentive to remember these details about otters for some reason.
Or just interest in caring about other
Why am I so interested
things.
in this part of the class?
I mean, Chase doesn't care about his major, so maybe that means something.
That's why he keeps forgetting his project. TJ looks around.
What project?
Actually, I really wish you could lay down somewhere. Then I could give you a real massage. That would be amazing. I can give you one tonight when we're back at the motel.
Oh my goodness.
You sure? The thought has me feeling warm, and not just in my back. Chase.
Oh my goodness.
Of course.
Chase is so horny.
I mean, I did sort of drag you out here. Don't worry about it. It's actually kind of nice. I haven't done work like this in a few years. I just can't accept this as being like hard work. It's tumbleweeds.
No, it's tumbleweed. So,
I
like
really
I said,
with this
I don't
idea.
think people understand. Tumbleweeds are not heavy. They're not heavy. They're really light. They're like dried out. They're pieces of plant. They're like branches. You're basically moving branches.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel like it would take that long to clear the side of a house, of a small house's worth of tumbleweeds. Especially like when we're given this example of this quote-unquote shack, I'm like, there's not that much space for there to be tumbleweeds stuck here.
Honestly, my first thought was like, why couldn't have Janice done this? She's like, oh, it's like 5 foot.
I also feel
5
like-
feet of tumbleweeds. I'm like, that's not very high.
Yeah, I mainly just feel like I'd want to grab a rake.
Yeah, just
shove them all out of the way.
Yeah, just scruff them over and then let the wind blow them past the wall or the gate or whatever.
TJ smiles back at me. It is, isn't it? He leans back and stretches, and I have to force myself not to stare at his arcing torso. I think that's it for the tumbleweeds, though. I look a little forlornly at the pile of boards. TJ follows my gaze and gives me a sympathetic smile. Remember, with the knees. TJ says brightly as he marches over to the pile. We find out pretty quickly that, while there aren't any tarantulas, the ruins of the shed are infested with spiders. Several of them are black widows. This is worse. Black widows are worse than tarantulas.
They are worse than the tarantulas.
Yeah.
Maybe not worse than... Huntsmans, I think, are more aggressive. But
But the huntsman was never confirmed. It was a hypothetical guess.
That is correct.
By a third party.
I pulled up a pallet at work and like had like no joke, like 40 black widows on the back of it, like where my fingers were. I pulled it up and I looked and I went, but like black widows are really reluctant to bite, so it's not a big deal. They're actually pretty docile. You can handle them. Like I've handled them before.
I don't want to do that.
I mean, that's fine. I'm just saying. Black widows they're okay.
Because those are actually dangerous compared to blondes, TJ goes in to ask Janice for bug spray. Just get a Molotov cocktail. Just take it all out.
Well, I mean, if they're
the only way to
already,
be sure.
Like bug spray, like it takes a long time to work. Like it's not really how that goes. Like
Yeah, that's why you light it on fire. I learned that from Zelda.
Fire would work more.
You light the webs on fire, and they scatter. Then you have a bigger problem.
They were prepping a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
For
I go back to water myself again with the hose, letting the freezing water run down the sides of my head and off my snout. Fucking spiders, fucking everywhere. I shiver again. I've been uptight ever since TJ had faked seeing that tarantula.
He didn't fake.
I stand back up, letting the water run down my back and front, sighing at how good it feels. I hear the front door open and shut, and the sound of TJ's footsteps coming around the house. Looking back down at the still running hose in my hand, I smirk. TJ did start this little prank war, and I still don't feel too bad about what I'm about to do. So I don't feel too bad about what I'm about to do.
He's spraying with the hose.
Yep. Wet t-shirt contest! Wet fur contest. I press myself up against the side of the house, making sure there aren't any spiders first. The second I see the lynx's foot stick out from around the corner, I swing the hose up. My original intention had been to wet the front of his pants so it looked like he had pissed himself. Unfortunately, he's too far away from the house, and instead he's left staring at me while I while an arc of water falls short of him by a good 3 feet.
I thought it was gonna be Janice. That's what I was worried about.
What a noob. Chase, you do the thumb trick.
Yeah.
You gotta put your thumb on the end of the hose,
or
spray
at least,
him.
Or maybe just like hose yourself a little bit longer until he gets closer.
Oh, here it comes. He's holding stuff, but I don't take the time to see what it is before I push my thumb to the opening of the hose and send a spray straight into TJ's face. TJ gasps like he just fell into ice water and stumbles back, almost tripping. I laugh. Chase, what the heck? I finally cut the stream of water, revealing a furiously blinking and dripping lynx. In one hand is a broom, and in the other is a plate of what probably used to be cookies.
Oh no.
No.
Oh.
They look kind of mushy now.
Oh.
Ah, crap. How long did you spray for?
Fuck you, Chase.
How much and for how long did he spray to delete the cookies?
It should just be like a passing glance. Like,
yeah, I'm like, a shower, a quick shower prank moment would not obliterate a tray of cookies. They would just be drops on them. What did you do, Chase? This is the Kamehameha of the fucking hose sprays.
Chase is a fuck
Surprised he still has fur,
way.
apparently. He hasn't just been, like, stripped clean like a pressure washer.
Cookies are obliterated. His fur is partially gone. He has mange now. Like...
Oh no, all these muscles are out in the air now.
Oh no.
I would not be able to find it on the fly, I'm sure, but there's just this, like, I think it was Japanese, or just like, there's just a fuzzy, like, puffball anthro dog that was too hot in the heat, and so the other character, like, started shaving their hair off, but underneath is just this, like, super jacked dude. Like, that's just completely hidden under the fur.
Oh no, he's hot.
I was thinking about that from the TJ muscles we're hearing about. I'm like, I don't think you'd be able to see shit through fur. Like, there's too much. That's the fantasy that furries don't want broken, is the idea that, like, the fur would be really detrimental to being able to see shit.
There's a handful of logistical problems you go through in terms of like the furry realm has a handful of logistical problems you just kind of have to overlook. It's fine.
Like, shut up, it's a cartoon.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, no, TJ is very toned. Like, he's a cute boy for sure. Flynn with his little mohawk of fur or feathers makes no sense. He's not a Gila monster at all. But it's okay. We can overlook it. He's a hot boy. It's okay.
TJ drops the broom to examine his plate of cookies. He tips it to the side and lets a stream of murky, crumb-filled water slosh out from the plate.
Oh, he really soaked those.
They smelled so good, too.
God, fucking Chase.
All of Chase's attempted pranks are always too far, and it's just sad afterwards, like the Cliff one, where it's just like, oh, this isn't fun.
Yeah,
none of these are fun.
He has a bad sense of humor.
Yeah. He's got... This is why he and Jenna were so bad at the phone thing. Like, they have the
exactly.
They should not be allowed to prank. They're really bad at this.
Chase has not pulled off a successful prank so far at all.
I walk over and take the plate from him. Well, the ones on the top aren't so bad. Just a little soggy. TJ wrinkles his nose. Just throw them out into the desert. I'd feel bad if Janice saw. I pick up a cookie and take a bite. It is a bit soggy on the surface, but it's warm and gooey in the center. Mmm. TJ looks at me in horror.
I would do the same.
Chase! What? It tastes freaking amazing. Quit being so uptight and take a bite. I take another. Stop! What if that's irrigation water? That makes me pause for a second, but I shrug. I swallowed water all the time when I swam up in the lake. I wonder, right after I say that, if I shouldn't be mentioning the lake at all around TJ, but he just shakes his head, making his way around me. If you start throwing up tonight, then we'll know why. Well, I'll have you to take care of me, doctor. I don't know much about actually being sick. He watches me anxiously as I take another bite. Still, It really is good. I point at the broom in the dirt. What's with the broom? TJ bends down to pick it up. Janice didn't have any bug spray, so she said to brush off the boards with this. I groan. I was thinking you could do the brushing and I'll do the lifting, since your back is sore. I groan. Don't worry, Janice says that if we get bit, to let her know and she can take us to the hospital. Comforting.
Very comforting.
Yeah, listen, I'm sorry about all this. I didn't know it was going to be so tough on you. I swallow guiltily. I'm mostly joking. It's really just how spidery it is. That's the worst part. I'll buy at the diner when we're finished, okay? I smile at him. I'm not hurting for money at all, but I know it'll make TJ feel better if I let him. Alright, that's a deal. Time of day change.
Oh, it's a nice little sunset.
It's afternoon at this point. The sun low enough that Janice's house is casting a shadow across the backyard. Of course, that shadow is a good few feet away from where we're working. I set to work trying to sweep away spiders, their egg sacs, and all kinds of other bugs, while TJ grabs the big boards and drags them across the yard. I'm pretty bad at it, trying not to yelp while I jerk the end of the broom back and forth like an idiot. TJ tells me several times that I can just sit it out, but I'd feel way too guilty if I did.
Wait, what is he yelping about? Like, isn't he just moving a broom back and forth?
Yeah, but the spiders...
Is he yelping out of fear or out of, like,
It's the spiders.
Physical exertion?
There's spiders on the boards, oh no.
Oh,
that's the whole thing.
See, I don't relate to that.
At one point, I almost flick a spider onto TJ, which sends him screaming. But several apologies and nervous laughs later, we're back at it. It takes a lot longer than it should, mainly because of all the sweeping I'm doing, but a few hours later, we're down to the last few boards. Most of what's left is rotting, crumbling wood. TJ wipes a hand across his forehead. Well, I'd say this is the last one. I give the board a cursory brush, happy not to see any spiders on this one. Hey, I was thinking, you want to go on another hike tomorrow? We could invite the others to go with us. TJ looks at me. You sure? I thought you didn't like it. Again, I complain a lot. I had fun. TJ smiles. Well, alright. That'd be awesome. He's grinning now, and that makes me feel even better. Alright, let's get this done, and then we can go to the diner and plan it out. Sounds like a plan. Another hike is just committing even harder to never working on his project. It's that thought is gone.
Like I said, once again, what project? How often he thinks about it way less than everything else. He doesn't have object
permanence with his school. The moment he's not at college doesn't exist.
I'm surprised he's not like a dropout. Like, how's he even passing any of his
in
classes?
Some of these routes he's a dropout.
Yeah.
With that, TJ flips the board and reveals a massive tarantula. 8 beady black eyes reflect the sun, and soon I'm almost blinded by it. They bore into me, and the spider turns slowly, crab-like on its legs, so it can face me. My stomach turns, and the ground tilts. I feel like I'm falling off the edge of the world. I grab for something, anything, but all there is air around me, and I fall into the darkness.
Such a wuss! Tarantulas are so cute! You loser.
What is happening now?
I'm not sure who's speaking.
Yeah,
right
I have no idea. Just count when the shoulders are down?
What is that? What could that be?
Swimming?
Maybe. Or push-ups or something.
Is it how fast he's breathing in his panic attack?
It depends on if you're laying on your back or not.
Yeah. I have no idea. It might be Janice, or it might be... It's probably a flashback, huh? It's some kind of vision of something.
Just count when the shoulders are down, alright?
I feel like water's rushing through my ears, and I have to widen my stance to keep from falling.
Are you listening?
Huh?
Chase. I think it might be I think it's TJ, probably.
What? I try to focus on the kid in front of me.
Oh.
Sydney!
No. Oh, no.
Whoa! Look at his goofy little hat.
I've never seen him before.
His little child drawings from before. Back when Leo beat up the other kids.
Yeah, like the different art style.
Yeah. I know the backstory here is that this person made like a music video about Echo, and then they like, hey, can we use those? Because they had like these little like these sprites that could be interpreted as being like the kid characters or something. And like at that point, they're just like, we can take any sprites we can find. Dear Lord, this project needs to be finished. That's quite a line.
Did you die or something?
I don't know. I was just thinking of something else.
You're dumb.
You're dumb. I don't feel good.
Oh.
Nerd.
Yeah, honestly.
Toby stands there with his arms around his stomach, his ears down, because Tobias...
Quit being a baby, Toby. Just one more round.
I don't want...
Go!
Sydney grabs Toby by the shoulders and sticks a leg out behind his legs. TJ is easily tripped and goes down on his back in the dirt. I get the feeling that the lynx is purposely losing so he can be done with it. Sydney doesn't like that and tries to pull TJ back up before rolling the lynx onto his stomach. He yanks on Toby's ears. Ow! I step closer. Okay, Sydney wins. I raise a hand and point it at Sydney, just wanting this to stop. Sydney keeps going and grabs his shirt that he'd thrown on the ground earlier and wraps it around Toby's neck.
Oh my gosh.
Sydney!
Hardcore rules. It's all legal.
Come on. Toby grabs at his neck and his eyes widen as Sydney leans back, pulling Toby's head back with him. The lynx's arms flail around, his mouth wide open. I stand there, confused. Is it okay if it's not against the rules?
Little kid logic.
Stupid child logic, just nightmare. Sydney laughs and leans even further back, looking excited and happy as he murders his friend. Toby stares at me with wide, bulging eyes. Stop! Wow. And this, I'm trying to think. I wonder how close that was to when Sydney died. Like, what kind of, like, shit-stirring instigator might he have been
Sydney's...
in whatever happened?
Sydney kind of sounds like a little punk ass.
It's not a glowing vision of this character that we've not seen anything of for the most part. I reach forward and grab onto TJ. Chase! Chase, can you hear me? TJ looks down at me with his wide blue eyes. Toby? What?
Aw.
I blink up at him, feeling sick. TJ feels my head, then stands up and starts pulling me along the ground. What are you... Gotta... get you... inside. He grunts as he pulls me, and that's when my stomach lurches and I roll over and vomit up the cookies. Crap! I can hear TJ starting to panic, so I grab at him. I have to cough and spit several times before I can speak. No, I'm fine. Don't freak out. No, you're not. Can you stand up? Yeah, I'm good. I get up on wobbly but stable enough legs. TJ puts an arm around me. We're calling an ambulance once we get inside. No, that's like $1 billion in America. In American money. Like in our dystopian nightmare world.
That'll get a bad reaction of any American. You're like, no, don't call the ambulance. No, I'll be fine.
No, medical's evil.
If I pass out, don't call an ambulance. I'd rather die.
No, I'm alright. No, you're not alright. This is serious. He starts limping me towards the front of the house. I should have been keeping an eye on you. TJ's voice cracks and I stop him. Hey, look at me. I'm okay. I look him in the eyes and see tears threatening to spill over. I'm just really hungry and I stood up too fast and then I got dizzy. TJ looks back at me, studying my face. Just don't call an ambulance for me. Not yet, at least. I force a laugh. I definitely can't afford that right now.
Who can in this economy?
In this country.
At all.
TJ's quiet for a moment, then starts pulling me to the front again. We're getting you inside, at least. I should never have had you work under this heat. I'm just tired. We should go to the motel instead.
Yeah, you owe me
inside,
a massage.
Now, just in case.
Massage,
this is the most assertive TJ has ever been.
He's very caring.
He's in medical mode. It's like, you're going to shut up and listen to me here. I actually know what I'm talking about.
I have schooling on this.
Janice is happy to let us sit on the couch for a while, drinking lemonade. TJ doesn't tell her what happened, but he glances at me every now and then, as if worried I'm going to faceplant off the couch. I feel a little dizzy, but otherwise fine. I keep thinking back to that tarantula, but TJ hasn't said anything about it, so I decide not to bring it up, yet. Meanwhile, TJ is making awkward conversation with Janice. I lean my head back, hungry and tired.
Mainly, it's wood chopping that'll be the hard part. My back isn't nearly as good as it once was.
Oh, yeah, I imagine.
I guess I was hoping I can get just a little more help.
Oh.
If you didn't mind, of course.
Swear to God, Janice.
Damn it, Janice.
She keeps adding more fucking stages. What is Damn It, Janice from?
That's from a Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Is it really?
Yes. Damn it, Janice.
Janice is the worst. I lift my head from the couch to look at TJ.
I got tomorrow off as well, and I'll be free to show you what needs to be done if you're willing.
Just take up our entire vacation. TJ's stuck with his mouth open. Then he smiles. Of course! I frown. Janice beams at him.
Or just a little lifesaver to buy us.
Did she bring this up knowing that TJ is just the person that would just sit here and just volunteer his entire vacation?
She might have.
This is starting to feel less like, oh, TJ got us into this because he's just so helpful, and it's like he saw an opportunity, and more like Janice saw a chance to strike. Oh, I got work to do, and TJ is back in town. TJ will do anything. You know, I haven't cleared my tumbleweeds in years. Maybe, I don't know, approximately how many years you've been in college. Because maybe he was already cleaning her tumbleweeds before. Well, starting to feel more nefarious.
It's one of those things where I imagine the situation of being like an elderly woman who is living alone. Because her only son was Keith, right? And Keith is missing / dead.
I think this is wrong again. I don't think Keith was Janice's kid. Yeah, because Keith's a fox.
Okay, I keep mixing her up with
the bus driver.
Yeah,
you keep thinking the bus driver's Janice, but the bus driver is just someone we'd never see again.
Okay.
I mean, we might, but we haven't, because they're just the bus driver.
So I mean, I'm assuming
the bus driver to a Peyton school, I think, too.
Okay. So I assume she lives alone. You know, but at the very least, like, pay these kids. Yeah. Like, you know, eliminating cookies is not like...
No.
It's not like... they're not Boy Scouts. They're not getting a badge for this. Like, you have to give them something.
It's like, man, we are like 23. This isn't really... You don't really pay us in cookies anymore. Like,
hey, ma'am, we don't mind doing this for you at a very discounted rate. Yeah. But still, like, give us some money. Because, like, this is getting to be exploitative.
Yeah, the word for this is contractors. You're supposed to hire someone to deal with your yard. Yeah, and she definitely could. Like, I'm sure there are... I mean, they live in this town where there's probably not a lot of things going on. But still, like, at least give these guys some money or something. Yeah. I think she's kind of in the wrong. No problem, ma'am. And so proper, too. TJ avoids making eye contact with me, a smile plastered to his face all the while. Janice suddenly turns her gaze on me, and I'm forced to wipe the glare off my face.
How were those cookies?
Oh, good. They were good, huh, TJ? TJ, still smiling, just gives a curt nod.
Good. My secret recipe.
Ricin.
I have a basement for you boys.
She winks at me, and I feel a little uncomfortable because the smile doesn't touch her eyes. That's just what her life is. She just has fake smiles forever. That's what life and customer service does to you.
Yeah, honestly.
It breaks you inside. Your heart doesn't touch your eyes anymore either.
Oh, God. Maybe that's why you're giving out cookies and lemonade for manual labor.